So by now, I'm assuming that your child has, hopefully, since it's been a week, taken this out of their backpack and shown you how it works. But I thought it might be useful for those parents who were not present during the class for me to show you how you can get the most out of your music note manipulative. So I gave everybody an assortment of different things in here, but you don't actually have to start with all of them, and I'm not going to right now. The first thing that you can do is to just work on rhythms. All of the kids should be able to do this, even the 3-year-olds can start working on rhythms. And you don't need any staff lines, you just use the measure lines. I always start with 4 beats in a measure because it's just easy that way. And you do something like this. I start out with just one measure for the young kids. And you count one measure for nothing, so they get the rhythm of it. Okay? Ba, ba, ba. I always say ba just because if I say do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, or whatever, then they're thinking about, wait a minute, is it do or is it re or whatever, and I just make it easy this way. And then, once they can do that without your help, then you do another measure. Maybe you incorporate a different note, a different kind of, like this is a half note, it gets 2 beats. You do what your kid is able to do. Bop, 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 bop. What's going to be hardest for them is going to be not saying anything on the rest. And it's also easy for them to lose track, especially if they're not already in music lessons. They'll lose their place easily. Even with only 4 beats in a measure, they'll still lose their place easily. So I point. And then to challenge them, I stop pointing and I let them point. And then when they can do it without any pointing, that's even better. Because of course, if they're playing the piano or any other instrument, they can't be like touching the music while they're playing. So then once your kid can totally do this, then you add staff lines. I don't bother adding all 5 because new musicians who are just learning to sight sing can't keep track of all those notes anyway. So I start with just one line on the staff. And that's my middle C. I'm putting it down. I'm kind of using the bottom of this thing as that line that goes through middle C. And I go, this is going to be do, and then re, and then do, re. I don't do any skips at the very beginning because do and re are hard enough for them. And then try to trick them by putting 2 re's in a row. They weren't expecting that. Ha 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 ha. And so this would be, for example, do, re, do, re, re, do, re. All right. Technically, at the end of a piece, there should always be 2 of these little lines. So you can start that with them too. But anyway, I don't start with solfege until I'm actually making pitches, until I'm using pitches. Otherwise, I just say it on a ba, so I'm not confusing. And I would be surprised if any of these kids could start doing skips right away. But weirder things have happened, so if your child is ready, then you can do a skip. Do, and then in their head, they would think, re, mi. And before they even start, I usually have them go, do, re, mi, re, do. Okay, like for nothing, just like the measure to get the pitches in their head. Do, mi, do. Yeah, like, and they'll have to kind of work through it in their head like that. Anyway, so that's how you use these. And I would recommend making more of these notes so that you can make longer measures and have more quarter notes and eighth notes, which I didn't make any of, and things like that to work with. And you can also do this with chalk on the sidewalk or whatever, draw it all out. This is easy because kids this age with the fine motor, like drawing it themselves is annoying, so they can just move them. Have fun.